Hello friends, this is Sam Cheney reporting for WeaponizedNews.com. Today is April 9th, 2016. And as we continue to report about the economic slowdown, recession, depression, collapse, here's a report out of Zero Hedge about the criminal banking cartel. Wells Fargo admits deceiving U.S. government, pays record $1.2 billion settlement. Nearly a decade since the housing bubble burst, the dirty skeletons still emerge from the closet and still nobody goes to jail. In the latest example of how criminal Wall Street behavior leads to zero prison time and just more slaps on the wrist, overnight, Warren Buffett's favorite bank, Wells Fargo, admitted to deceiving the U.S. government into insuring thousands of risky mortgages. Its punishment, a $1.2 billion settlement of a U.S. Department of Justice lawsuit, the highest ever levied in a housing-related matter. The settlement with Wells Fargo, the largest U.S. mortgage lender and third largest U.S. bank by assets, was filed on Friday in Manhattan federal court. It also resolves claims against Kirk Lofrano, a former Wells Fargo vice president. According to the settlement, Wells Fargo admits, acknowledges, and accepts responsibility for having, from 2001 to 2008, falsely certified that many of its home loans qualified for Federal Housing Administration insurance. According to Reuters, the San Francisco-based lender also admitted to having, from 2002 to 2010, failed to file timely reports on several thousand loans that had material defects or were badly underwritten, a process that Lofrano was responsible for supervising. According to the Justice Department, the shortfalls led to substantial losses for taxpayers when the FHA was forced to pay insurance claims as defective loans soured. So they defrauded the taxpayers, Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is the latest bank in a long series of settlements which absolve banks of all their past bubble transgressions. Numerous other lenders, including Bank of America, Citigroup, Deutsche Bank, and JP Morgan Chase, previously settled similar federal lawsuits. The criminal banking cartel, they should all be under the prison. Wells Fargo, however, held out, perhaps due to concerns how such a settlement would impact its core mortgage origination loan. Recall, it is the biggest mortgage lender in the U.S. Until yesterday, its payment is the largest in FHA history over loan origination violations. Taking credit for the record wrist slap was U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara in Manhattan, who said in a statement that Friday's settlement is a reproach for years of reckless underwriting at Wells Fargo. While Wells Fargo enjoyed huge profits from its FHA loan business, the government was left holding the bag when the bad loans went bust. That, and also the record bailout, of course. The court was also resolved a probe by federal prosecutors in California of alleged false loan certifications by American Mortgage Network, LLC, which Wells Fargo bought in 2009. No one has been criminally charged in the probes, and the Justice Department reserved the right to pursue criminal charges if it wishes, according to the statement. It most likely will not. For Wells, the settlement, which puts all of its unpleasant housing past behind it, was good news. Franklin Caudill, president of Wells Fargo Home Lending, in a statement said, "The settlement allows us to put the legal process behind us and to focus our resources and energy on what we do best, serving the needs of the nation's homeowners. Committing fraud against taxpayers and homeowners," he should have said. Continuing, which may be a problem as we showed recently, when it comes to the needs of the nation's homeowners, they are declining. In fact, in the most recent quarter, Wells' bread and butter mortgage origination applications and pipeline are declining dramatically. And you can see the graph here going down steadily. And in fact, unless the government steps in to lower lending standards again and make it easier for banks like Wells to issue mortgages, the bank may find its revenue over the next few years declining dramatically. Of course, should the government relent and unleash speculative buying spree by ensuring even low quality mortgages, the U.S. will promptly find itself right back in the situation that Wells just had to settle a record amount of money to forget. Who knows, the next time all this happens, someone may even go to prison. Yeah, probably not. They're too big to fail, too big to jail. And so there you have it, the largest settlement in history in a mortgage fraud case is $1.2 billion by Wells Fargo. It's truly disgusting. This is criminal fraud. People should go to prison. For a long time, they're defrauding the taxpayers, the homeowners, knowingly. It's truly disgusting what these banks have done to our economy and the Justice Department for failing to criminally prosecute them. It literally is a slap on the wrist, the cost of doing business. If you have money in any of these big banks, move it to a credit union. Try to divest yourself from the system as much as possible. Do your own research about banking fraud, mortgage fraud, the slowing economy, the recession, depression, collapse, the fractional reserve banking system, the debt-based monetary system. All Americans need to know about this stuff because we're going into a very, very bad economic future. Prepare, subscribe to this channel, and speak out and take action.